If you guys are just tuning in,
We're good. We're good.
if
So
you're
I,
just tuning
I want
in, that is Chelsea right there. That's Chelsea, and I'm
not Jen,
Jennifer.
I'm Chelsea.
But we share the same Zoom.
Okay, so I want to share this really, really quick before we start our Zoom call, because I know I talked to a lot of people last year that were struggling to get to conference. And for those of you who didn't get the chance to make it to conference, I want to share this with you on how I get to conference every single year, because believe it or not, I'm a diamond. My fiance's lifetime rank is a diamond also. And, even though we're both that, we still have bills to pay. We still have things going on, just like everybody else does. And so the financial standpoint of it is that you just have to learn how to prioritize. No matter what, you got to focus and you have to prioritize it. So I have this little box right here. Okay. It's in my office. And every single year, every single time I get a fast start bonus, every single time that I get a paycheck, anytime that I sell a sample, I take a percentage out of it and I put it in this box for conference. This is how I get to conference every single year. So your conference 2024 starts right now. Get yourself an envelope, get yourself a box, get yourself anything like that. And I'm telling you right now, you will make conference 2024 happen, and it will be the year that changes everything for you. Okay. When you get to a conference, it's like life changing. So even though this year bonuses going on and everything, you could earn these bonuses and everything, but once you go to conference, you feel like you're a part of something, and that right there is going to hold you to your business. So that's what I do, and I want to share that tip. Do you have any tips on getting to conference, Jen?
So now that we can start doing events again, I was legit making $400 to $700 doing events before COVID. And then COVID happened, all events stopped. I wasn't making money, but these events that I would go to would be like retirement places that people would come that are snowbirds, and it was like 55 and older places, and they would have like country stores, and I would go there and I would literally set up a table, and this would be every week, once a week, and I would do that, and that's how I would get money. Well, for the last 3 years since we haven't been going to conference, I did go to Margaritaville, which was a kind of a little bit of a conference. So what I did for that, even though I'm a presidential diamond lifetime rank and have made $35,000 in 1 month, it doesn't matter. Things happen, things fall. You get back up, you keep going. So I still was like, oh, dang, it's still a lot of money. Like the flights are up, food's up, everything's expensive now, right? So you definitely want to save. And so if you're not doing events in person, then I would be basically sample selling on your Facebook page and selling samples of what you have at home and shipping it out to them. I charge $20 for 4 Skinny Brew coffees. $20. So think about if I sell it to 10 people, that's $200.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there, if you get it on like a Tuesday Southwest flight, you can probably do $200 flight. That's your flight right there. But just think about that. Yeah, that's really the only tips I have of making that cash. Or you do the foreign ones, you do the charts, you get your loyal customers, and you get those fast start $50 bonuses, 150, 350, or 500. Like, it's fast, it's every week, and that's on top of commission. So you are maximizing every way you can get paid, and then putting a percentage in a box for you and saving it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I love that tip. So yeah, earning it throughout the year, put it in a box, put it to the side, put it somewhere so you can hide it on yourself and forget about it for a year. Have an alarm that goes off on your phone that says, hey, this is where you hit it, right? I do stuff like that to myself all the time, just so that I can make sure that I make it a priority. So yes, absolutely get to conference. So I want to start off, I always start off my Zoom calls every single Wednesday night with announcements, and they're going to be super, super quick, because there was a couple of different things that happened at conference that was absolutely amazing. And I'm sure it will kind of like spin out throughout our stories in the next, couple of minutes on this Zoom call. But I want to go through 4 quick things with you guys, because I know my team's on here, and I want to make sure that I share this with everybody that was not there or wasn't able to watch the recap so far or anything like that. Number 1, we have a new product. It's called Slimmer. You definitely want to go check it out on your website. So you can go look at myitworksproductcoach.com. There's different tips in there. I know that a lot of teams have boards also that have the description and the ingredients. Definitely should look that up, see what the clinically proven ingredients are in it. And for that right now, it's $49 for the actual slimmer bottle. And then $98 if you want to pair it with the TFX and the gummies. Remember, if you're pairing it with the TFX and the gummies are clinically proven when you take 2 twice daily. So you need those 2 bottles with it. So when you're getting the pack of the gummies and the TFX and the slimmer, you have to add 1 more bottle of the gummies to make it a full month of those gummies. Okay. So I'm adding that in with the prices whenever I'm talking about that slimming. I think it's called the slimming trio in there. And anytime I talk to someone about it, I let them know that they're getting a full month, and I just add the extra $39 for the extra bottle of the gummies. Okay. So if you guys have any questions about that, put it in your team chats. You can put it in this chat if you want to, and we'll answer them at the end. Second thing is that the new BBK is until the end of the month as of right now that I've heard of. And it is $99. It comes with the slimmer in it. And for those of you who are struggling to get people at $99, I'm telling you right now, go get them on Klarna. We have Klarna that's open, and you can get them in for 4 payments over the course of every 2 weeks. And that drops it down to under $30 for them to get started. Okay. If you don't know what Klarna is, ask your upline. I'm telling you, game changer. That's how I just got someone started earlier today, was just getting them on Klarna and showing them and walking them through the process of doing that over the phone. Okay. You guys know how big I am with talking to people on the phone. I do it every single time. Energy transfers. When you're excited, people also know that you're excited because you're talking a million miles a minute, right? And sometimes I even hype myself up, and I do like 5 laps around my table. I was just talking to Lisa about this on a Zoom call. I said I just do 5 laps around my table, and I get all like crazy, and my heart starts beating like crazy, and then I just go a mile a minute on the phone. And people love busy people, so they're attracted to that hype, that excitement, and that is why I do that on the phone. So number 3, the membership fees are still half off right now, and those are extended, I believe, until the end of the month from what I heard at conference. So it's literally just adding pretty much $10 to every single order when you enroll someone brand new for the first month. And then number 4, there is updates that are happening in boards. I will make sure that every single person on this Zoom has access to this board. I am starting, and I just started it. I sent it over to a couple of top leaders to see if they could check it out. And I'm going to send it to you too, Jen, so you can see it. But it's all about getting new distributors in, and we are following a path of a top leader that spoke at conference. So I linked up with one of her double diamonds at the airport. We talked about their boards of getting their new distributors in. So we are following what they're doing so that we can gain the same type of success through host to host. Okay. So check that out. I'll make sure I drop it in the runners chat for you guys so that everybody has access to it. Okay. So with that being said, that's all my announcements, but I want to get started. First of all, I want to share my story really quick, because I know I have a lot of brand new people that are on here right now that probably don't even know who I am. Okay. So my name's Chelsea Noella. My last name's Sear, if you ever have to look me up a different way. But I go by my middle name on Facebook. And I actually come from a background where my parents were not very good with money when I was younger. And I'm going to share a similar story that I shared at conference so you guys kind of know. I grew up in the trailer park at home, and it was not the greatest trailer park. It was your typical run down in the central Maine region. A lot of them are like this. And my parents actually had a problem with alcohol growing up. We struggled really bad because my dad would work like 80 hours a week, and then he would go dump it into the bar or taking my mom out to eat. And so we were pretty much raised by my grandmother every single day. And she would take us in, she would feed us, she would do all the things that she had to do for us. And we barely saw my parents. And anytime that we did see them, it wasn't the greatest encounter until I got older. Obviously, I went through a lot of work on myself and everything, and work on my relationship with them. So it's totally different now. Thank the good Lord for healing that. But back then it was just a mess, and it caused a lot of trauma in my life. with having to decide who I was going to have walk through that door every single day. Was I going to get the angry dad that's going to blame everything on me? Was I going to get the mom that was, telling me that I was a POS every single day? Or was I going to have to make a run for it really quick so I didn't get my butt whooped? Like, what was it going to look like every single day? And so I grew up obviously feeling like I wasn't good enough. I felt like um, there was nothing more for me than just to work that normal 9 to 5 job. And I struggled really bad financially because my parents taught me how to struggle financially. It's kind of like monkey see, monkey do. If you don't heal yourself, your children are going to follow suit. Right. So I followed what my parents laid out for me. And for the first, 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years of my adulthood, I struggled really bad. Matt and I had our daughter Bailey when I was 20 years old. I was a new mom, very young, didn't really learn how to be a mom or manage money or anything like that. It was my first apartment ever, my first vehicle ever that I had gotten. And I ended up having to get it repoed because I just was not good at making the payments. Okay. We had bought this house and we were planning to fix it up. And in the midst of fixing it up, I was working 80 hours a week and there was no problem with my work ethic, but it was how I managed money every single day. So I was taking that money and I was pouring it down the drain. And then I turned around and I followed what my parents had set out for me once again and started turning to drugs and alcohol. So I went through that stage in my early years of having postpartum after my daughter and everything, to the point where my bills went backwards so much where I had to start overdrafting my account. Has anybody ever been there before where they felt like there was more month than money and you had to literally search for the money? There was times where I was digging through my center console of my truck to find money for gas to get back and forth to work. There was times where I was struggling so bad that we were getting notice after notice after notice. And I got to the point where I stopped checking the mail because I thought that if I just stopped checking the mail, that it would just go away. And that wasn't the case at all. And so we got to this point where we were $500 in the negative in 2 different accounts. Matt and I were fighting every single day over money and lack of time together because I physically had to work nonstop just to get by, just so that we could afford our house. We got the foreclosure notice in the mail, and that was our last straw. Matt said that he didn't want to be with me anymore. We started going into the courts for a custody battle. And I looked at him and I said, I don't want this to be our life forever. I don't want to struggle like this anymore. I don't want to fight with you. We've known each other since we were kids. This is not how life is supposed to be. So I reached out to this girl that was on my social media that I had watched for an entire year. I didn't know what she was doing, but I said, listen, girl, I don't know what you're doing. I barely friggin' know you, but I need something like yesterday to change my life. I got started with her, not knowing what I was doing, not knowing how to get started. And within 2 months after I got started, she quit. And I had to make the decision for myself whether whether I was going to propel myself forward or I was going to stay stuck. And I looked at my child and I looked at my other half and I said, there's no way I am going to let this one person that got me in keep me held back this entire time, right? I am not going to follow her and I'm not going to keep going in that same exact path. So within 7 months after I started my business, mind you, she quit 2 months in. I learned the business myself by watching YouTube and hopping on these Zooms that you're on right now. I got started, I got to work, I put in the work to send the messages every single day. Some days were crazier than others, guys. I was battling mental illness like you wouldn't believe. I was on multiple different medications and none of them were working. So it was really my mindset. I had to outgrow who I was to get to the next level. So I grew and I grew and I grew. And in 7 months, I quit both of my jobs because I replaced my income. And then a year after that, I brought my man home and we have never looked back ever since. We have earned the most in bonuses than we've ever seen in our entire life. And that is what has been able to hold us at home every single day for the last 3 years. Okay. I've been to every single conference that was offered to me, minus the first one, because I didn't know what I was doing at that point and I didn't know how special it was. So if you're coming in here and you're brand new and you're like, well, I know that conference is important, just know that it's okay that you missed this first one. It's okay that you dropped the ball in it. It's okay that you didn't know the value of it at first, but don't make the same mistake next year that you did this year. Change your entire life this year so that next year you can go to conference and you can get up there to those diamonds, doubles, triples, ambassadors, and we can all go to the top. There's room for every single one of us at the table. So that's my story. And I want to switch it over to Jen because Jen also has a really powerful story. And I want to open it up for her to share that with us. Whoops. There you go. There you go.
How am I supposed to follow that?
Your story is just as good. It is just as good.
We'll see. No, yours, Chelsea, that was very, very impactful and powerful. And just hearing the details, like I felt it because, 9 years ago looked very different for me. I have a criminal justice degree. I have a bachelor's certificate. I did everything I was supposed to do and go to college like I was supposed to. And then everything changed. I lost everything. I had to file bankruptcy. I had to get on food stamps. I had to stand in lines for food at churches. I had to ask people to pay our electric bill. My husband was in clinicals for nursing and also working, but it just it wasn't enough. We were almost homeless and we had to move in with my grandmother. And at that point, we were living with her and I saw like this business and I wasn't interested in the business because I didn't have the mindset that I'm that type of person to be doing all that, like selling or, advertising or just being a model. I was 60 pounds overweight at the time. So I got with the girl who is now my upline and I used the products. I used the products for 3 months and lost 60 pounds in 90 days. And then I was like, okay, well, my grandma was paying for it at the time because I needed to lose weight. And I was the most depressed that I've ever been in my life from being overweight, being on food stamps, not being able to find a job because I was too qualified. And it was really like one of the hardest times in my life. And so I had to stop using the products because we just didn't have the money to use it. My grandma was done paying for it because I lost the weight. I fell in love with the products. So I ended up asking my mom if I can borrow $99 to join the business. And she gave me $99 to feed my kids. But I took that $99 and I joined this business. And I joined this business and I got so much hate. My husband didn't support me. My sisters didn't support me. My sister actually blocked me and talked a lot of crap online. And just to let you know, my whole family is in this business. They all retired because of this business and they all have collected over $100,000 in this business. So in bonuses alone, not paychecks. We've been in for 9 years. So, but I'm just telling you where it goes. Like if you are consistent and you don't give up and you have the mindset, and I didn't have no choice. Like I was just gonna go backwards and not try this. Like I had to do something to get us out of that situation. And I felt at my lowest. So what I did that day was, before I even asked my mom, I was in Walmart and I had my EBT food stamps card. And it was me and my daughter at the time. She was 6 years old. And these two girls from ASU, they were behind us. And I handed my EBT card to the cashier and the girls started laughing. I walk outside after getting my groceries and my daughter says, "Mom, why were those girls laughing at you?" And at that point I said, "We are struggling right now, but I promise you, I'll never put you in this situation again." And at that point, I knew that I had to change. So that's when I got on the phone to my mom. And so I started this business and they were all not supportive. Like they weren't. It was just, I got blocked. I would be the person that would send 30 messages at a time to one person. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't really follow my leader, or I wasn't really like, she's amazing and I love her, but I just was doing my thing, doing what I thought I knew social media was about, right? And so about 4 months in, my sister ended up joining me, and then my leg took off. I became number 37 in the company. I became presidential diamond. I became a millionaire inductee. I became, my life changed, and then I got to change other people who were in the same spot I was, or that needed that just extra $500. All I was looking for is like $100, to be honest with you, and it changed up to $35,000 in 1 month. Is it always like that? No. Do I know where this company is and where it's going? Absolutely. I've been here 9 years. I haven't looked back. I've been offered to leave. Everything you could think under the sun, saw it all, and I'm still right here for a reason. I know that conference is a game changer to get to, and whether you have gotten there, watching it virtually, whatever it is, like, if you did something before and it broke, you can rebuild again, but it will never be like before. It will be better than before. Your whole life can change with a simple yes and being consistent. Show up daily and you're already winning. That is your outcome. If you put 110% in every single day, you are winning. And guess what? When you show up for that rank or promotion and the outcome might not be what you want, or maybe it is, whatever it is, you're already a winner because you showed up every day. So having that and being consistent and knowing your worth. My husband joined forces with me and loved this business once I got my $800 check. My first check was $60 in the business. My sixth check was $6,000. So your life can change in a matter of 6 months or sooner. And back then, 9 years ago, we didn't have boards. We didn't have host to post. We had lives. We had events. We had parties. We had Zooms. We did not have boards, host to post, Telegram, instant messaging like this. Y'all have it good. If I could do it back in the OG ages, so can you guys right now, using the resources that It Works have for you. And if you need any help, we're a unity. That's what this is about. We're community. It's love. Like, when you go up, we go up. When they go up, they go up. Like, it doesn't, I feel like I'm saying the second time building because right now I'm not presidential. I'm not my lifetime rank, and that's totally okay because I'll be it soon enough. But our company took care of us. They offered those re-rank bonuses. They offered those bonuses for us. They want us to win. And we can win by using the resources. We just have to believe in it, the system, and we have to stay consistent. But I feel like the second time that I'm building up is so dang different. It's not about me being homeless anymore. It's not about me worrying about peanut butter for a jelly sandwich that I made my daughter. It's not worrying about if people are going to make fun of my daughter at school. Now is my team winning? Are they happy? Are they consistent? Am I showing up to Zooms to help them? Am I having constant conversations and unity with them? Am I building a relationship with them? That's what it's about. And because of that, and because I put God first and in this business all throughout my day, I know I'm going to win, and I know you can too. And we're doing it together.
Yeah, I love that. And I wanted to touch base on a couple of things that you said. So you said that you took the money that you asked your mom for and you ended up putting money into this business. And you didn't tell her, right? And you didn't tell anybody, you said, right?
I didn't tell anybody, and she signed up like 3 to 4 months later when I joined as a distributor, and she retired from nursing. And then she ended up going back to nursing because that was her passion. She still does It Works, but yeah, she did it for 8 years. And I mean, yeah, she didn't know, and I still haven't paid her back, and I don't care because she was top 100, top 200. No, she 1 year. I don't know, but I made her a lot of money. Okay, because I brought her through this business.
That's right. So I'll make sure I don't mention it. So anyways, what I was going to relate to you on was that how I got started was I actually sold my laptop that I had at the time. And that was crazy because people looked at me like, you're going to sell your laptop to get started? Because, guys, back then it was $99 full time. You really didn't get that much in your starter kit. Like, you guys are so blessed to get started right now. You guys get such awesome kits and awesome gifts from the company. And it's crazy because I didn't even tell Matt at all when I first started. I didn't tell him until I got my first paycheck. My first paycheck was $35. Okay. So
Bam.
yeah, so my first paycheck was $35, and that didn't even come for like 3 months after I started the business because of course I got started. My enroller quit because she was like, well, you're not doing anything, you know? And then I ended up making that $35 paycheck the very next month. After that, my paycheck went up to like 350 because I hit Ruby, and then I hit Emerald, and then I hit Diamond, and then I had a fat diamond going, and it was so good. And then I had, Matt's account went Diamond, and then that was even bigger, and it grew and grew and grew. And so I want to share this with you guys because I know I've got a lot of new people on here. If you've never read the book Beach Money, it talks about the cycle of being a distributor in network marketing. It's called Beach Money. I can't remember to save my life exactly who it is. So when Jen talks, I'll look it up and I'll make sure I get it to you guys. But I wanted to make sure I mentioned that was that I didn't tell anybody in my family either because they wouldn't believe me. They wouldn't believe me that I could actually do it. And what's really crazy is that I was like 7 months in and I was able to replace my full-time income just with the fast start bonuses. Like I was killing it with fast start bonuses when I first started. And I honestly didn't know what I was doing. It was like I was running. I was just doing the things that I was told in the Zoom calls, and I was doing them times 10. Like I was literally on fire because I felt like I was on fire. I was excited. I was pumped up. I told myself every single day what I was going for. I revisited my why every single day. Anytime that I felt a little doubt or a little like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this, I would just go watch another video where that team specifically was pouring into their downline, and it would just like hype me up again because I was like, okay, well, if they can do it and they're sharing their story, then I can do it too. So that was one of the things I want to share with you. Yep, I sold a laptop to get started. I ended up making the money back for that. I have a nice brand new computer that I'm sitting on right now that I paid for cash. And I was able to do a lot more with it too. But I didn't tell anybody at first because nobody believed in me. And then 7 months in, I ended up making that income. My sister looked at me and she's like, so when are you going to go get a real job anyways? And then like a year later, I started making like more than 3 times what she makes. So it just like didn't even matter. You know what I mean? I just kept focusing on that day when I was going to make more and when I was going to make more and when I was going to make more. I'm still doing the same thing. And then as far as like you guys getting started, guys, Jen and I got in and like, even though Jen, like she had her upline, but she didn't use them as a resource. Like she said, she just kind of did her own thing, I didn't have an upline at all. And so, and I had this conversation, I think it might've been with you, Jen, about, how my upline quit. And at first, I was really bitter about my upline quitting. I really could not stand her. I had this like hate for her. Like I was just like, how dare you leave me? How could you just turn your back on me? You got me started in this. I told you I needed this. I told you my family was hurting, and you just walked away from me, right? But now I look back on it every single day and I'm like, what if she would have tried to teach me back then? What would my life look like right now? There's no way that I would have built 2 accounts underneath her leadership. I thank God every single day that she quit because she actually gave me a straight pathway to leaders that I needed to learn from. And she gave me the hardest route, right? And that hardest route that I was willing to take literally built my business higher than I ever would have gone underneath her leadership. So I'm so thankful that she quit. And so if you're struggling right now and your upline quit on you and they back down, just find forgiveness. Like seriously, start learning about forgiveness first. Start learning about how things happen for a reason, and invest the time into learning and growing your mindset. And eventually you're going to look back and be like, Dang, I'm glad she left. Oh my goodness, I am so glad I did not have to learn from someone who knew
Yeah.
nothing about this, right? And I'm so grateful. And she still creeps my page and everything. She sees all of my success that I've gotten, and she probably would have made a lot of money off of me. But I've had to tell her multiple times, like, I'm thankful for you. I know that you had a rough time. I know that you ended up quitting. Just know that they quit not because they were turning their back on you. It was something that had happened in their own life. Sometimes we tend to take it personally when someone quits, whether it be our upline, our sideline, our downline. Just know that it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with what's going on in their own life. And we're all thinking about ourselves. So that's all that they're doing, right? They're doing exactly what you're doing every single day. So I want to share that with you guys too. But you guys have the tools that we never had. You know, you have the boards, you have the YouTube videos. Guys, I have a YouTube channel. If you are new to this Zoom call, just know you can look me up on YouTube. It's Chelsea Noella, literally with 2 A's at the end of it. Look up any of my Zoom calls. I have personalized trainings on there. I have specific trainings on learning host to post and learning a ton of other stuff. Any boards that I get that are just fire, I will make sure that I share them with you guys so that you know exactly what you're doing along the way. Anything that our team is doing, I always like to update you guys. And these Zoom calls are happening every single week on Wednesday nights at the same exact time for the next 5 weeks after this. So I want to share that. And then that was the last thing I wanted to share before I asked you a question. I hope this is okay. So when you first started, you know how you came in with your mindset, okay? What is different of your, like, how is your mindset different from when you got started to who you are now?
Oh my gosh. I'm a completely different person. 9 years ago, when we started It Works, I did not even know like self-development. I was diagnosed with unspecified bipolar and chronic anxiety. So my mental like state was already like very, very, very like um triggering. And so I would always complain on Facebook. I would be that person that misery loves company. It would be the most horrible thing ever. And when I see it to this day, it like is a shooting pain and like in my stomach. Like I'm like, no, girl, no. What it is you got to get your mind right before you can be right. If your mind is, say you do this 24, are some of you guys just putting in the work, doing this business, but right here isn't fully 100% okay, you're not going to go far. You're not going to succeed. And the reason why is because you're letting what's getting in your mind affect you. If your mind's right and you're putting in the work and you're being consistent, then right there alone, that's going to be a recipe for success because your mind and your mental state is right. I have to do 50 times more than probably the average person of self-development because my self-development is already low, like, or my mindset is already low because of what I'm going through or what I'm dealing with. But everybody is going through their own thing and all of it matters. So there's no like excuses. What we have to do every single day, and this is what I do. Here is my day of being in the right mindset and creating that habit and that system so that I can get up, I can do my mindset and get my mental state right, and then I'm good for the rest of the day. So I always make sure I journal, journal. And what I journal about, you may be sitting there looking at like, hey, what am I supposed to write? I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to begin. I didn't know even how to write a freaking paragraph on Facebook a month ago about sharing my journey of my son's autism. And now I became a blogger of sharing my son's journey with autism. Because when you do and you create action, that creates success. So I just kept doing it. I just kept posting it. I just kept sharing from my heart. So I get up and I thank God for 5 things. 5 things I'm thankful for that specific day. The next thing I do is I affirm something that I'm not yet already, like, I affirm that I'm Ambassador Diamond. I affirm that I'm an amazing mother. I affirm that I'm beautiful. I affirm that I love, like, anything, right? The next one is my goals for today are, and I share my goals on what I want to accomplish today. And then I thank God for something I don't have yet. I thank God that my team is going to win. I thank God that my team is going to be on that stage with me at conference, and they're going to be holding my hand, and I'm going to be cheering them on. That's what I affirm. So I do that daily. Then I read in any type of book, or I listen to a podcast. It just depends on what I'm doing, audio, in book, or podcast. But you have to do more than just journaling. You have to hear things. You have to hear the wisdom. You have to hear the knowledge, because if you don't, that's not going to create any power. And everybody has something to offer. Everybody. I'm going to learn something that Chelsea doesn't know. Chelsea's going to learn something that I don't know. And then when you listen to each other and you just open your ears to being like coached. I never thought I would be on Zooms every day with my downlines downline, who I don't know. It's just God. Like, God works. And when you're working and you're putting in the action, like, getting around like-minded people. So I get around like-minded people all day long on Zoom calls, journaling, affirming, getting on the Zoom calls with people. I also do my Bible study. It's so dang important to bring the Lord into your life. And I'm always going to give him credit first. He is number one, no matter what. He can make a way. He's a waymaker. He is a chain breaker. You guys, he is number one. So I pray, and I'm in the Word daily. I'm doing a 1-year Bible study, which is all the way through the Bible. And I'm in that daily. And I do devotionals, and I talk to him and I pray, because my relationship with him should be treated better than any relationship I've ever had on earth with anybody else. We treat people better than we treat God. You know that? I should be talking to God about my problems, not somebody else, not gossiping, just talking to God, sharing everything, laying it out, praying, crying, building that relationship with them, because he is the one who's never going to disappoint. Sooner or later, everybody will disappoint you, but he will not forsake you. And I'm in the Word daily, and I listen to worship music, and I fill my cup daily. And if you don't, you'll fall down. You'll fall down. And whoever listen to Misha Tate, you want to fail. You want to fail as much as possible, because if you don't fail, you're not going to have growth. And if you don't have growth, you're not going to be stronger. And if you're not stronger, you're not going to get these bonuses. So you will fail through the season. You will go through the season, but we will all do it together. And we're a community. We'll guide you, we'll lead you, and you will be successful as long as you follow the consistency of doing the tasks and being present and communication. I feel like a lot of the time, Chelsea, is a lot of people in self-development, they miss the communication of just communicating with like-minded people. And I'm telling you, when I started communicating with you, it lit more fire than me than a book has in a while.
Yeah, and the thing is that when we get together, just like you said, like I have seen things that you haven't, and you've seen things that I haven't. We both learn different things all the time. So guys, like, that's what these Zoom calls are all about. It's about getting around like-minded people and learning from people who have been there, who have done that, who have outgrown that version of themselves, right? They say that in your business, you attract people who are 3 years behind you. And so
Yep.
you you are actually teaching people who are going through the trenches right now that you just got through. So why not teach them those things, and not just teach them the business, teach them what you physically went through to get there, right? Like, my team knows me transparently. They know, like, the ups, the downs, everything, but they know that
Yep.
I'm not going to stop where I'm at. They
We
know.
ain't gonna hide that. We ain't gonna hide that. That's not true. Like, I'm not gonna fake being a Like, no, guys, I'm not a presidential diamond right now. Okay. I'm not making $16,000 a month right now. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. And I think that's why I have been so successful, is because I'm not going to fake it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm gonna get through it. I'm gonna become stronger and it's gonna be built better. So I love what you said, Chelsea, about that. I love that.
Yeah, and your team needs to know the ups and the downs too, because you don't want them to, let's just say, build their business to a diamond level. And then the first time that they fall, they drop to a ruby and they're like, I'm the only one who's ever done this. Oh my goodness, how am I ever going to come back from this? Is it just me? You know, it's not just you. All of us have fallen. And it was so crazy because we all raised hands at conference. We were, you know, going through and like talking about how much, you know, our business has taken a dive and stuff this last year. This last year was hard. Like, raise your hand if this last year was hard. No matter if it's in your business, no matter if it's in your life, no matter if it's the stuff that you've gone through, life was hard last year, and it was hard the year before. And I don't see it ever going back to the way that it was, but it can be better. Just like Jen said, it can be better. So that is 100% up to us. So I want to share something too. So I share a lot of personal development stuff. If you guys don't watch my story all the time, because I share my books like crazy. I share my podcasts I'm listening to on there. I even link them a lot of the time, so you can just click it and just go to it. I love to share them in the group chats too. So I'll be in there sharing everything with you guys. But this next point I want to share with you guys, because we got like 16 minutes left. But so when I first started my business, okay, I worked 2 different jobs. I was in the medical field. I worked 80 hours a week, and I had to juggle working 2 jobs and this business at the same time. Boy, was it scary and overwhelming, especially when you live with anxiety, postpartum depression, PTSD, depression, all the different mental illnesses. Like, you feel like you're like, ah, in your head. Okay. I had to juggle all of that and work this business at the same time. But, you know, I was willing to do that because I knew that if I just could come home full time, if I could just work my business hard enough to be home full time, I could run my own schedule and I wouldn't have to feel that panic attack that comes with having anxiety. My body wouldn't have to go into that loop of feeling like I'm getting hit by a truck every single day because I'm rushing to work and I'm rushing to drop my kid off at daycare and I'm rushing and I'm rushing and I'm rushing. So instead of sitting around waiting for possibly that to just happen magically, I got to work. Every single nook and cranny that I had in my life, I'm talking lunch breaks. I'm talking anytime I got out of work, I would sit in the parking lot for 10 minutes to work. I'm talking before I went to bed at night, I would lay in my bed and I would just do a messaging spree like crazy. And I would send out like 150 messages to people about business and product and all the things. Host to post wasn't a thing back then. Okay. So I would do all of the things and I would work my butt off for it because I knew that I just wanted to come home full time. So the thing is that if you want your life to be different or you want to be somebody different, you don't get there and then start showing up as that person. You have to show up as that person every single day so that you can get there. Right. And so this is something that I wanted to mention, that I mentioned to a lot of my girls when they first start coming in. When I first started my business, I was working 2 jobs and I was being told what to do every single day. Anybody here, just show of hands. Actually, let's drop a 1 in the chat if you have ever had a 9-to-5 job where you were told what to do every single day, or you knew what the job description was and you just followed it day in and day out. Okay. So I see a lot of ones pouring in. So you feel this, that when you are an employee, you're told what to do. You have a task list. You're told everything day by day by day. But then you start a business and this business does not have that. Okay. You have to switch your mindset from an employee to a business owner. And this is where most of us struggle with, because we don't know how we're supposed to switch our mindset. Okay. It wasn't just a light bulb went off and all of a sudden I was a business owner and I could do it and it was crazy. It was trial and error. I would show up one day and I would mess something up, and the next day I would try again and I would pivot and I would do something a little bit different. Then the next day I would like try to show up at a certain time, and my kid would be like psycho on me, like jumping off the counters and everything. And I'm like, I just can't do this right now, right? And the next day I had to turn and I had to pivot. And then maybe the next day I got called into work early, so I couldn't work at the time that I thought that I was going to be able to work. So the next day I had to turn and pivot. Eventually you will get to that point where you will know exactly what times work best for you to stay solid in, okay? But I'm telling you right now, if you don't show up every single day or work on showing up and have your checklist out in front of you, if you don't have something written down of what you have to do every single day, girlfriend, it is not going to happen for you at all. You have to have it written out. You have to have that checklist going. You have to be communicating with your team, reaching out to your upline. If you're not talking to your upline, your sideline, or your downline every single day, what are you doing here? Because that is literally what our business is all about. It's being together. We are literally in a business of being paid to do personal development every single day, right? You have to get it together and learn that it's not just a snap of a finger and you are a business owner and all of a sudden you're just all that in a bag of chips. It is showing up day in and day out, failing, trying again, failing, trying again. I've failed probably a million times, and I guarantee you Jen has too. And we just have to continue to keep trying again and again until we get it right. And sometimes, I mean, I'm a diamond on 2 different accounts and I still get it wrong. I still struggle some days. Like Jen and I were just talking this on a Zoom call, you think it was yesterday, about how we're just pivoting like crazy. And like there's life that's just happening like nonstop, but we just keep showing up. And that's why we know. And that's why Jen and I can look at you confidently and say, we are going to earn every single bonus that's available for us because we are just willing to keep showing up every single day. And if you go into it with that confidence, knowing that you have the capability to show up every single day, you're going to change everything for your family too. And you're going to go from being an employee to being a business owner. And you are going to be such a bomb business owner that's going to blow this business up. And you're going to help hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. So we give you the tools. We give you everything. We give you the personal development that you can follow in our footsteps every single day. We show you exactly how you're going to make money from point A to point B. And you just have to be willing to show up and try again every single day until you get it right. Don't quit. Keep your eye on the prize. Don't stop until you make it happen. And just keep going. Did you have anything to add to that, Jen?
I think that was amazing. And you're right. It's like the word that I'm just going to say is that I feel like revived, but I also feel like this is like they have their foundation and you guys were building. We're building strong and we're building strong like we've never built before. And if you apply yourself, if you do your time blocks, if you do your mindset, if you do your tasks, if you do your power hours, everything, and you put it all in and you create that habit daily, you will see the success faster than you can imagine because your check will continue to rise. How can it not if you're doing all the right things? Oh, wait, mindset. Get your mindset right. We're going to have a lot of great things for mindset within the next week or so, and get on the mindset. Ask us. Like, if your mouth is closed, we'll never know. So if you need help, we are here for you. So there are no excuses. I want everybody to put in the chat, what bonus are you going for? Are you going for the ruby bonus? Are you going for the emerald bonus? Are you going to maximize and go for the $20,000 brand new diamond bonus? Are you going double diamond, triple diamond, presidential, ambassador diamond? Because I'm telling you, if y'all think I'm crazy, I have claimed $202,000 with It Works on just bonuses. And they were the good bonuses back when Sherilyn Ocala stated they're like double. That's when I got them, you guys. That's when I got presidential. And that's when my paychecks were $35,000 a month. Okay, it's insane. I'm telling you. But look at all those diamonds, ruby, double. I love that diamond, triple. Yeah. That's a lot of money they're going to be paying out. Who's very excited? If those are your goals by March 31st, who's super excited? And what are you going to work on for yourself to be better each and every day. Are you going to work on time management? Are you going to work on power hours? Are you going to work on tasks? Are you going to work on showing up? Zoom calls? Are you going to work on being present? What is it going to take for you to claim what you just said that you wanted?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. One thing I wanted to share, because we got like literally 2 minutes left, but I just started reading this book literally yesterday. This was actually given to me by Jen and Stacy at conference. And I'm telling you what it's called You Can Do Hard Things by Sherry Lynn Ocala, who is our CEO's wife. And she was talking about this one thing that it just really caught my attention. And I want to share it with you guys, okay? Because I know some of you, you're coming in, you're brand new. And I know some of you are coming back. And I know that some of you have been with me or been with us in general for a while now. And you're just wondering why it's not working for you, okay? So in this book, in the beginning of it, she's talking about how you have 4 burners on your stove, right? Most of us have 4 burners on our stove. Just put a heart in the chat if you have 4 burners on your stove, just so I know that I'm not crazy, okay? So she was talking about how all of us have one specific burner on that stove that we use. Tell me in the chat, which burner do you use the most? Because I know that a lot of us are very, very similar. And most of us are using the front burners, right? Front burners. We got front left, front right. A lot of us are using the same thing, right? And so those back burners never ever get used unless something happens to the front burners. And what she's talking about is she's saying a lot of us are taking the things in our life that should be on that front burner, but we're actually putting it to the back burner. And we're putting our dreams on the back burner because everybody else in our household is using that front burner, right? So she was talking about it and it changed everything for me. I'm telling you right now, the way that she worded it was so amazing because she was talking about how sometimes we let other people and what they say about us cause us to stop dreaming and to stop thinking bigger every single day. And this is why Jen and I wanted to start this series about mindset, because you're going to have people who are going to consistently tear you down. You're going to have people who are going to say no all day long. Girlfriend, you have to get used to hearing no. You have to get used to hearing no. You have to get used to people not understanding your dream or following your dream or being excited for you. I remember looking at my mom when I first started this business, and she was like, it was like 4 months after I started. She didn't even know that I earned a big paycheck. Okay. And she said, you have to be careful with those things. You know that they don't work, because she's worked in an industry like this before. And guess what? She did nothing. And that's why it didn't work for her. You can either show up and do something, or you cannot show up and not do something. And it's either going to work for you or it's not going to work for you regardless. So that back burner analogy was so good. And I hope and pray that every single one of you guys find something this year in your reading, in your podcast, in the Bible that just speaks to you, in your devotionals, whatever you do. I hope and I pray that every single person on this Zoom call finds something that changes their whole mindset and allows you to stop worrying about what people think about your business and what people think about you every single day, so you can propel yourself forward. You can fill your cup up, and then you can go and pour into other people, just like we're able to pour into other people. Okay. So with that being said, any last words? We got like 1 minute. We're good. Okay. All right. So we're gonna end this Zoom call then. I appreciate all of you guys showing up. I know there's a lot of you that are newer that got to show up. We do have this recorded, so it will be up on my YouTube channel, and I will post it in the group chat when it's finished. So I love you guys so much, and I hope that you have the best night.